Hello everybody, it is flower spinning time, and today I am doing a purple and turquoise little flower. We'll be putting that on top of a white base coat. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring the base coat out. I'm going to start with just a little bit in the center. Let me give that a little torch, and I'm going to give it a little light spin. I wanted to give it a light spin just to make sure that I thin it out enough so I don't have too much paint in the center. If you have too much paint in the center, that can cause your colors to sink in. Another thing that it can do is when you do the blowouts, it can cause the paint to kind of pull back into the center. So you don't want that. You want, when you blow it out, you want it to stay put. Let me pour more of the base coat on. All right, let's give this a little twirl just to smooth it out and thin it out slightly. Oh, and y'all, my workstation is a wreck. I've done a lot of paintings this past week. There's so much paint everywhere. Let's get started with the colors. I am starting with this light purple. I don't really know what this is. It's not starting good. It's not perfectly round. Something might be off with my consistencies. I did not do a consistency check. I think it's my base coat is actually a little bit too thick, but we're going with it. Too late now. All right, I'm gonna put this blue violet mix on top. This is, it's mainly blue violet, but it's got a little bit of red violet in it and a tiny bit of white, just to draw out some of the purple color, because blue violet is a very dark color on its own. All right, I'm debating if I put a little Vandyke brown in here. I'm gonna put just a little bit. I don't want a bunch of dots popping through, so I am torching like crazy. I did just mix this white last night, so it hasn't had a whole lot of time for the bubbles to settle down, so there are a lot in here. And because I think this white base coat is slightly thicker than I normally make it, sometimes it just takes a little extra time for any extra bubbles to rise up to the top. Coming on top with light gold. Now I'm going to come around the center with this turquoise green. This is actually turquoise green mixed with zinc white, about half and half. Turquoise green just, I mean, it's very opaque. It can really take over a canvas, and I don't want that. I wanted to lessen the opacity a little bit, so I don't want full turquoise petals. I just want a nice little stream of it, and I want it to color blend with the white, so that may be enough. I mean, we'll see how the first blowout goes, and you know, if I feel I need to add a little bit more in there, then I will. I'm gonna start the blowout this way. I'm gonna add just a couple little dots of that purple in there. All right, I am gonna add just a little more base coat around this. Let me do a little depth check real quick. I wanna make sure that this is good. And that needs more over here. That needs more over here. These sides are slightly thicker. You know what? I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of white. Maybe, this might be a mistake. Let's see how that first one looks. I might add another dot. I just think that the white on top of that blue violet should throw up a prism of purples. That's the theory. I don't know if I just messed up my center with adding the white, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and start the blowout and just see what happens here. All right, so far, so good. I'm gonna go straight down on this one. I'm gonna add a couple little extra dots here too. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna do anything, but it didn't do anything here. Maybe it did. I am gonna add though a tiny bit of this turquoise because I kind of feel like it got lost. So I have a really big concentrator on my hair dryer, and you know, when I blow, it sort of creates a wake, which is one reason I love it because it creates pretty big fluffy blooms. But when it's really tight next to another petal, it can kind of bowl over it. So it threw this up, which may be okay, but I'm gonna just blow it a little bit. You know what, I don't think it matters. I know, weird blowout. They always are. Some are kind of devoid of color here, but I will just live with that. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my lines. I am going to hit this with a low torch. I see more bubbles. Let's go ahead and spin this thing and see what happens. Oh, you know what? I did not cut this one up. Let's go ahead and spin this thing out. Just for good measure. We're almost there. So you gotta be careful because, you know, this area right here, I don't want the whole thing to fall off because then I'll just have two petals merged into one. But I do want to go just a little bit more. I think that is actually kind of cute. Okay, I think we're done here. Oh no, I gotta go a little bit more. I messed up one of the edges. You know, when you kind of stop spinning and the edge is set and then you spin again, you have new paint coming over it and it's kind of hard to correct. So the first thing I'm gonna do, actually that looks really good. This one looks really good. Oh, okay, well, you know what? The edges look fantastic. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is hit at my edges and kind of take a look at it as it's rotating around. I just wanna check to see if there are any adjustments I need to make. I do like it. I think the only thing I don't like, this petal is a little bit too white. At least it's clearly defined. That's good. I probably should have put a little more of that teal down. But let me just take a look, assess where things are at, and see what adjustments I might need to make. All right, so I think the big question is, what do I do here? You know how this kind of goes whoop, but I like that. I'm not gonna round that out. This over here is kind of funky. It just doesn't quite all the way go over, which I'm fine with. I'm actually fine with it. Really, the one thing I have issue with are these two right here. This doesn't have quite enough color going through it, and they're really close together. There we go. Just wanted to kind of plump that out a little. I don't really think I did much there, but I need to take the camera down and take a look at it from up high. I just want to get a bird's eye view to see what the composition looks like. Because I think that these two that are really close together may be throwing things off. I don't think it would be that big of a deal if that little bloop wasn't in the middle. But, you know, from my vantage point, it actually looks really cute. But I'm just not sure, you know, looking at it straight down, what it's going to look like. So I will take a look and we will be right back. All right, so I really dig this little flower. I mean, it is definitely funky, but you know what? All of my flowers have a little bit of funk to them. There are a couple little petals that I wish I had a little bit more turquoise in, but overall, I really like it. I think it's super cute, and I will go ahead and take you all in for some close-ups. I hope you all enjoyed the video and have a wonderful day.